Steering rack. I'm going to get the lower, they're both 13 mil. I've already started this. You can see it's kind of wet. I sprayed some penetrant on it because these things were less than accommodating. So unfortunately, all you're going to see is a bunch of video of the frame of my car. I didn't realize that the camera was pointed upward a little bit, so unfortunately there's nothing to see visually. But I can tell you what I'm doing here is I'm removing the lower bolts off of the rack. These bolts are easier to get to because there's really nothing in the way. If you are doing this on jack stands, these would be pretty easy to get to. The top ones are going to be the challenge, and the top ones are where the video picks back up and you can actually see some stuff. So sorry about that. Okay, so I've got the suspension off of this side, which makes it way easier to get to this bolt. I'm going to try to do the other side with the suspension on because I'm not taking it off yet. But I wanted to show you. So the bottom one is relatively easy to get off. I think even if you don't have a lift, you get under the car, it's right there. There's no obstruction. The top one has a nice little piece of steel running right across it. So the only way that you can get a ratchet on it is by using an extension. You cannot put a wrench on it because if you see, I don't know if you can see, but those little curved, I don't know why they're there, because they don't hold the bolt captive. Those little curved things prevent you from putting a wrench in there. It just won't fit. So you have to use a socket. You have to use an extension. All right, I've got a 13. And it's still super tight. So, it's not fun by any means. This is with the suspension off, so with it on, it's, yeah. Now I'm gonna try to use this guy, make it a little bit faster. I don't know if it'll fit in here, we'll see. Okay, I got an automatic button pusher. Make sure you disconnect the battery. I've got the negative connected, but I really should have disconnected the both. This is the positive. The negative over there is disconnected. I should have done both, but it's better than not having anything on. So I would suggest you disconnect both, but up to you. Yeah, this top one is no fun at all, and this is, again, I don't even have suspension over here getting in my way, so the other side is I guarantee gonna be way more fun. Ha ha ha. See, I even tried a 13 stubby on that side, didn't work. All right, I'm gonna go to the other side. All right, got the other one set up, got the wrench on the other side, and because there's a big arm in my way, I can't use the wrench to turn it off, so I'm using a ratchet. Which seems to be working okay. As long as my wrench stays in place, which it's threatening to not stay in place. There's no real way of me holding it either, so let's see if I can get my automatic in here. convenient. I can just push against the metal. Not too shabby, not too shabby. All right. Yeah, it's like super tight with this on. You can still do it. It just sucks. Oh, I also have the fender liners off, so if you don't have the fender liners off, you'd probably have to do it from the battery box, which would really suck. So I would suggest taking the fender liners off because it's not that difficult to take those off. I think it's like 3 bolts or something like that. So take the fender liners off if you don't have them already off. Okay. I do believe that is it as far as why the rack is connected to the frame. Next thing we're going to do is this tie rod end. Oh, it just fell. There you go. I'm going to do this tie rod end. That looks like it's probably an 18. This is a loose 18, which seems odd to me, but I think it'll be fine. I don't think that's quite an 18, but it's not a 17, so I don't know. There's that guy. Don't really have to worry too much about the tie rod ends since I'm replacing them, but I don't want them to smush, so there we go. Those are way easier to take off, by the way, than other ones I've had on that car. Those took a tool to press them off. These just come right out. All right. So the other thing we got to do is disconnect the rack from the steering. Right there. Wow. It looks like it's ready to go without even really doing anything, which is kind of concerning. So this little sleeve, I'm pretty sure, allows some play there. I'm going to shoot that with some creep. That looks really rusty. And then I'm going to loosen it and see what we see. Okay, I got a 10 stubby in there. Pretty sure you could put any, it doesn't need a stubby, you can just do a regular one. Oh, it's going the wrong way. That's why it's not loosening. That'll do it. I'm just going to take this all the way out because I'm going to clean it up a little bit. Oh, we lost a little washer. Tiny little washer on the other side. Where'd we go? Where'd we go? There we are. Okay. Alright. Gonna get it on. There we go. Steering rack bolt. And this guy should just be able to hopefully slide out of the way. Here, let's see. Get a screwdriver. Not really sure how this lifts off. I don't think that's going to be big enough. Give me a pry bar. That's not even going to be big enough. It's definitely loose on there. Just trying to figure out how to get it out. Oh, I don't know. Oh. Interesting, interesting. Okay. Well, we're loose. I have a feeling this is going to be harder to put back on than it is to get off. Maybe, maybe not. Guess this doesn't push up at all. Be nice if it did. Oh, there it is. Oh my goodness. Definitely in there. Okay, that's going to be harder to put back on. I can guarantee you that. That's going to be a real pain in the butt to put back on. All right. If I can slide it all the way out here. And there we go. Steering rack off. And so this side isn't too bad. This side is completely shot. You can tell, like, that's the way a rack should be. It should hold a little bit as far as like where it's supposed to go. But if it just bounces around, it's completely shot. Okay, rack out. Okay, I wanted to show this. See how clean that is. Let me turn this off. See how clean that is? It's because it's got a washer there. There's a metal washer. Boy, that one's not going to come off. There we go. Little tiny thin washer that goes up against the metal, I guess. That's what they look like. I'm gonna get the last one off. Okay, I got new bushings on the way, but I'm gonna knock these out just in case. I think the bushings don't come with the spacers, so this is how I'm gonna do it, at least I think. Or maybe not. Maybe not. Doesn't look like it wants to come. Yep, not sure how we're going to do that. Not sure how we're going to do that. Alright, we'll figure something out. Okay, I knocked one out. So I got a little ring here from a bushing press tool. Just set it under there so that it's, actually let me get two rings so that they're even. That would be better instead of it being crooked. You could use really anything that's hollow enough. I have a brass drift. This is a, what is this? It's in the 3/8, 10 millimeter drift. And right there. There we go. Once you feel it come away like that,
it's super easy to knock out the other side. Oh, spoke too soon, I guess. There we go. That one's held onto the bushing. Interesting. The other one did not let go. But that's how I got it out. So, yeah. Next two. Turn this over. That guy right there. There we go. Try both at the same time because I'm feeling lucky. There we go. Alright. That's just pushed right out. So it's not going to be as accommodating. There we go. So held on to the bushing as well. Anyway. That's that. Okay. Old rack. Floppy. New rack. Can barely move the arms. Okay. Got to take the bracket off. Got to go the right way first. Okay. So that's not gonna help me out, I guess. See how tight these are on. Okay. Going the right way. All right. These obviously need to be replated. These need to be cleaned. We're going to set these into place so that we are putting them in the same way. If it will go down, but it is not going to go down. There we go. Still not going down. Okay. Not really sure why it isn't staying where it's supposed to be, but whatever turns your knob. Alright, and then this one actually goes here. Like so. Very nice. So, put that there. Put this there. The two little T's both go at the top. I'm not really sure what they're for. I think it's just to keep the thing from rotating. That's my guess. All right, that's kind of hand tight. This one is kind of like that. It doesn't really have any particular spot, so I'm just going to try to put it roughly in the same spot and hope that that's correct. Got our T right there. That's the center of our thing. So if you look over here, this is the length of that. So that's, I think, pretty darn close, if not right on the money. Okay. The little zeros go to the top. I don't know if that matters. I don't think it does. I think they're exactly the same on both sides, but putting it back in the way I found it. So there we go. I don't know what the torque value is for this. I'll look it up. Yeah, there's our rack. Okay. I couldn't find a torque value for these guys, so I basically gave it a couple ugga-duggas on the impact gun. These are 219s. I'm gonna guess these are gonna be a real pain in the butt to get off, though. Well, maybe this one isn't a 19. The other side is. Interesting. Okay, so I don't know if this is normal. That's a 19 on that side, but it looks like it's a 20 on that side. Interesting. Okay, let's go 20, 20 and 20, 20 and 19, and this is way big. Interesting. So on the passenger side, these are both 19s, both of these. Both firmly in the 19 mil camp. This guy looks like it might be an 18 or maybe even a 17. I don't even know. Let's see. Well, 18 doesn't fit. This is truly bizarre. 19 doesn't fit and 18 doesn't fit. Yes, 19 is going to have to fit. Okay, 19 does fit. That's very strange. 19 and a 20 and a 19 and a 19. All right. Fair enough. Put the 18 away, and we're going to mark our guy. It's probably gonna skip away on us. Okay, that's two. Let's see. See if I can find a. Okay. All right, there's that one. And this one. Make sure you mark it all the way. Don't just get the edge. Otherwise you'll be getting a false reading. Okay. Fair enough. Now my guess is this is not going to come off easy. But we'll see. Maybe it will. No, it's not going to come off easy. What a shocker. All right, I'm going to spray some penetrant in here, and then I'm going to come back a little bit later. I don't actually need the ball joints, but I do need the nut. So it is one of those things. Probably should have done that before I put the paint on, but It is what it is. Let's get this side. There we go. All right. I'm gonna let that marinate for a little while. All right, I got it off. I don't know if the penetrant helped. Maybe it did. I used this guy. If you guys don't have one of these, just get one. It'll save you a lot of cursing. You can use it on a wrench. Boom. Or you can use it on a socket if you wish. I've never really used it on a socket. But anyway, so what we want to do is we want to count now. We want to count exactly, or at least roughly, where our things are. So here's our driver. I'm going to go from the top. If I can get it to turn. I think that was as close as I got it. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 12, 13. So we got 13. Let's see how many we've got on the nut. 1. Try to not get the paint on there. 2. 19 3/4. So we're going to start right here. I'm going to try to start right there. One, let's see. So that's 3/4. 2. So that's roughly where we've got it there. I'm gonna take this out just for the hell of it. Let's see if this is close or accurate. Zero that out. Looks like we've got right about to there. Go to the end, please. Go right to the end. You gotta move up, buddy. All right, that looks like it. 28.65. And this is, that's just about it. It's a little bit off. It's a different taper there. 28.65. So I'm gonna do one more. There we go. Close enough. All right. And then my ball joint, which is in a very well sealed bag that I can't open. I'm going to put this guy right here. This is 13, right? So, well, let's see if it tracks to 13. 1, 2, 3, 4. 14. All right, that's where we're gonna lock it down. Okay, so I did get new bushings, but these actually seem like they're okay. I don't see much reason in do anything to them, honestly, because there's no cracks. They're in good condition. So I am just going to reuse these. And it's the little end that goes in first. There we go. There's one. All right, gonna put this bad boy in. One good thing is it is incredibly light. I'm not used to a steering rack being this light, which is nice. It's a nice change. Let's see. Wait. Which way are we going? Okay. That's the way my thing has to go. Are we flipped around the wrong way? I think we're flipped around the wrong way. Yep. Okay. Okay. I've repositioned these, and I've tightened them basically hand tight because I don't know where they're going to wind up. So, yeah. Let's hope that we're close. If we're exact, I would be very surprised, but my guess is we're going to be hopefully close. That's my hope and prayer, is that we at least get close. Move this clutch cable out of my way, and we slide that in there a little bit further, maybe. Or maybe not. Okay, there we go. Yep. Oh no, moss. Alright, let me see if I can get it from the other side. I can sort of get it from the other side. Get past that bracket. Okay. I can see. Okay. Quite fiddly, to say the least. Quite fiddly. Okay. Let's see if we can slide this. Okay, there we go. Get those brackets moved around. Yeah. All right. The first thing we're going to have to do, actually, I'm going to go and put one of these through here. Now I have to remember, I have these four. Actually, let me just do that now. Just do it now. I'm just going to support this guy, or try to anyway. Try to support this guy. Bring it a little closer. Okay. Now, this is not the right way to put the bolt in, but it's the only way I can get it in right now. So that's what we're going to go with. Okay, so there's no way that I can see, unless you know exactly where to put those brackets, to be able to put those brackets on the bench. So that's going to really suck, but it is what it is, because there's just not enough room to position this unless you know exactly where they're supposed to go. And even then, this is loose, which is giving me enough ability to move this around. I have one bolt on the other side, literally just holding that up so that it doesn't drag down, but that's about it. So I'm gonna try to just slip this guy in here. Probably easier said than done. Yeah, it's gonna be easier said than done, that's for sure. That is for sure. I don't really see it, but you know, hey, what do I know? Okay. All right. I don't know how far it has to go up, honestly. I'm gonna have to go look at the video. I'm gonna leave it right there and go look at the video. Okay, that definitely has to go all the way up. I just don't know if we can get it to go all the way up. I feel like it's maybe going up. Almost there. Why not? There we go. Oh. There we go. Okay. Now I don't know which way that went. Looking at the wear pattern, I'm guessing it went this way. That's my guess. Okay, so the head goes that way. I'm gonna spray this a little bit, just to hopefully help me out. And the head. Just gonna see if I can screw it in. Maybe that'll give me the lift that I'm going for. I love this cable in the way. It is fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. I think that might be. It is. All the way in. That's pretty good. Side. Well, I'm going to put the washer on the other side because the space is so vast that I just feel like doing it one at a time because it just makes me just so darn happy. Yeah, it's great. No. didn't want to go. It sure didn't want to go. Here, let's grab this. Okay. Why aren't you going on? Okay, I got that little bastard on. I didn't film it because I forgot to. But yeah, that's not fun. This shaft actually moves. That would have made life a lot easier for me, I think, if I would have known that it moved up and down, because it certainly wasn't moving up and down when I was trying to put it on and off. Anyway, in order to get this shaft into this thing, you have to make sure the splines are all the way in. As you can see, there's no spline showing. You cannot have this screw in. The screw has to be completely out. So I tried pushing it in when the screw is in. It won't work. Screw has to be completely out. Push it in, then put the screw in. Make sure that this nut will actually thread onto the screw, because it's hard enough to do it doing it this way instead of doing it on a bench where you can just make sure that it threads in. The only other problem I'm going to have is obviously these brackets right here are loose, but what I'm going to do is just put everything in loose, and then I will somehow figure out how to tighten them when the time comes. And I'll just have to figure it out. Remember these tiny little shims? They go right against the bracket. So it's kind of, well, not kind of, it's really fiddly to get it to do that, especially when you have an A-arm in the way. But
So basically what I'm doing here is I'm reversing the process that I did to take the rack out. Again, sorry, the video is just terrible. I didn't actually realize that you were looking at a car frame the whole time. But the bolts go through. It's pretty, just remember which way they go in and which way you took them in, or took them out, sorry, and put them in, the same way when you install the new rack. So yeah, I've just sped this up because you really can't see anything, and I'm really sorry about that. But if you took the rack off, you'll be able to put it back on. The biggest issue is getting the steering column into that spline, and once you do that, it's just a matter of bolting it up. It's annoying, but it's totally doable, especially if you've already removed it. So you just reverse the process and you'll be fine. Okay, thanks for watching, and sorry that the video wasn't so great there at the end.